Well, I'm gonna put. um. Well, the only thing I'm going to put on this one is that the pictures of my father and the double that Mary Wallace and my uncle that was with Roosevelt when they planned my kidnapping. That was 39. I was kidnapped in 41. Now, the only other thing I was going to continue on what they've done with me, that if you did a background check, I can't even use my real name. You would see where I've broken leases. It wouldn't tell you that they soaked me in chemicals and that I'm allergic to chemicals. I have an immune disorder. That they've joined a conspiracy, and this is Section 8 HUD. I should be living in, they've got me out here begging for a place to live and getting soaked in chemicals when I should live in Buckingham Palace. By the way, I want to go back to Larry Flint when I was up there in October of '83 in a political campaign to replace one of the doctors I wrote about that was into mind control, Larry McDonald. He was a U.S. congressman, and his plane was shot down by the Korean, well, it was the Korean jetliner KAL that was shot down by the Soviet Union August 31st of '83. I still have the magazine. I just didn't get it out today. I've shown it before. It was in April of '84 that that appeared. I'm going to lose it where I was going from here now. Shouldn't have gotten sidetracked, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to go back to Edinburgh where I was getting on the radar. I might as well, no, I won't tell the rest of that. I'm just going to tell Carol Rogers had come up to me, and I put that on prior tapes. And, oh, I did want to go back. Yeah, I'm switching back and forth to Larry Flint. When I went out there, I was out at his home in Bel Air then on St. Cloud. He knew that they'd put antifreeze in me. The first thing, I'd never met Mr. Flint, and he flew me out there during that campaign. First thing he said to me when I went in, he was in the library, it was late at night. He said, they were going to send you back a vegetable. Well, he knew about them putting antifreeze in me. He knew my real name before I did. I didn't find out until a little later about being Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II, and who my father is, King Edward VIII, and being kidnapped in this whole bloody mess that's been done to me by this country and by part of my family, the Windsors, and the New World Order, the Freemasons, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the whole Kissinger later on became a part of it, and of course the Kennedys. But going back to when I went through and met Mr. Flint for the first time in the library in his home, and he said they were going to send you back a vegetable. So he knew about the antifreeze put in and all of it. And the second time I went out there, it's like role playing, which is so much a part of this. It's like teaching you Braille or something. It might not mean something to somebody else, but it does to you. It's a form of speaking with role playing and objects, and takes and it fits together in patterns and over time and all that. But the other thing he said to me when I went back the second and last time, I was supposed to go out there, I thought, and work for him. And let me remind you, I didn't know about being kidnapped in my real name. I've been told that subconsciously I did know, and I have recovered some memories of being brought to Moulton, Alabama, and actually being with my mom and dad and a few things that happened then. So I was 2 when I was kidnapped and brought here. But anyway, so Mr. Flint, when he said that, he sent me back a vegetable. He meant send me back to Great Britain, a vegetable. Here's your queen. You can have her back after we've done all these other things to her. And one of them being putting antifreeze in her. But the second time I went back um, to his home, and I thought I was going to live out there, and they were going to help find my kids, Mark and Scott, and get them out there. And I thought I was going to tell all the political corruptness that had happened about mind control and all this. Didn't know about my kidnapping. Or really didn't make sense of what he meant send me back. I knew he knew about me with the vegetable bit. But the second time I was out there in October of '83, the last time, um, he pretended that now he had invited me out and sent. Well, the limo driver was with British intelligence. His limo driver was, and pick me up, and I'm in at Flint's, and think I'm going to, well, at least I had a little money then. Of course, he had provided me with part of it. And he had me pushing him around in a wheelchair, and went up to the lily pad room that I'd stayed in before, no problem. The first time, went all over knocking on doors, and it was a thing with a joke. There was no room, and he said that to me. Well, it looks like there's no room in the inn. And remember, this is cryptic. So I was sent back. I spent part of the night in his daughter's room, and sent back the next day. I didn't go to work for him. I was furnished a car when I got back to Atlanta. No money, and it when I turned it in at the end of the year, all of it was a disaster. You have to have money to put gas to survive to do anything. So all these people have got away with the crimes. I'm 75. I don't know if my children are alive or dead. All I know is that Elizabeth and her family and the people in this country have found it funny that they've gotten away with the worst crimes and murder ongoing, and they're being praised for it and looked up to for it.